Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. This is my first live, so bear with me as I work out the kinks. I don't even know if this is going to play. This is my first time, so it may just be me. I am going to go over a few headlines. Hopefully someone will jump in and ask a question in time if anyone does join me. Again, this is my first live. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do travel. I started with travel in Medellin, Colombia last Memorial Day. And that's actually when I moved there. Went straight to Sweet Georgia Cafe and went to work that following morning. So that's when I began the journey. I watched a few YouTubers like Ace Live, like Carlton. Of course, everybody knows Carlton down there. Been watching him for some time. Actually got to hang out with Carlton while I was there. Cool guy. So anyway, that's where it began. And I said, I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to do Medellin, Colombia for a while. And then all of a sudden, I ended up moving back. I was there for about 3 months last year and then moved back here to Texas, which is where I am now. So I did want to go over a few headlines. Everybody knows the top news, of course, and that's for Colombia. I tried to do it for Colombia, only in America. What's up, man? Jesus, hola, ¿cómo estás? Habla muy poquito español, okay, recuerdo. But yeah, so this is my first live. Thanks, guys, for joining me. And anyone else who jumps in too, just going over my background, how I got started. Actually, Ace's video, the first one, if you watch, this is Ace Live. I actually started watching him back in, well, shoot, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, way before I went to Medellin. And I watched that video of him in the airport. What's up, Big Mike? What you know, man? What you know, no good. Hey, lost a nomad Colombia talk. What's up? Hey, yeah, so I started watching Ace Live, and that first video is the one that got me started doing vlogging or wanting to vlog. Was his first video. I don't know if it was his first video when he was at the airport talking to his brother, I think, saying, man, if I don't do it, I may never do it, man. I'm in my 30s. I might as well do it now and just move. And Ace just hit 100,000 subscribers too. Subscribers are not my thing, if you can't tell right now. I mean, obviously, I could put up some clickbait and get some video or part of the edits, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm encouraging you to travel, number one. That's my deal, is to get you out there. Hopefully, you meet new people, you have different experiences, and it changes who you are. So that was my goal in the beginning. Love to travel, man. Always been traveling. I mean, since I was taking Greyhound buses when I was probably 10 years old going to West Virginia from DC. But anyway, I told you the top news. Everybody knows the top news, of course. And let me preface this too, because I keep getting a couple of people. It's always, one or two people that'll throw up something that says fake news. Lost a nomad Colombia talk on the bus now headed back to Medellin. Where you from? Where you coming from? If you there, where'd you drive to? What's up, Juno? What's up, man? Thanks for joining me, man. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, I'm saying everybody knows the news. And if you don't know, everybody, I'm sure if you're going to jump on here anyway, already know that they held up the judge's order to quarantine for 14 days and the requirement of a PCR test. Victor, what's up? Keith, what's up, man? Have I been to Vietnam? Yes, I have been to Vietnam, man. I was there last year. Actually, it was either as soon as I came back from Medellin as soon as I came back from Medellin, we went to Vietnam, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh, you name it, man. We got all around. Check out my videos. Actually, I got a couple of videos on here too. Colcosia, where's that? It's in Colombia. They held up the 14-day quarantine and PCR test. Means it's not a requirement for right now. But what they did was it looks like what they did was just delay it by asking the judge, you need to give us some specifics. And So now the judge has got to take time to do it. And during that time, and between now and when the judge actually gets back, then there's no PCR requirement, no 14-day quarantine for now anyway. Of course, that'll change. Juno, why didn't I stay in Medellin? Same reason, almost the same reason that got me to Texas. A woman, actually the girl I was dating. But when I say almost the same thing, the kids, I wanted to get back for the kids, man. And if you watch my video, when I went back during my trip to Medellin, I went back home for a swim meet for a now 12-year-old. And when they rushed out and hugged me, man, that was enough. I'm out. And I just wanted to come home and be close to them and be closer to my mom as well. But man, I love Medellin. If you watch my first videos, first of all, I apologize because it was shoddy. And I was holding the camera. I was sitting out on the patio drinking. Big Mike, you know where I was too. And somebody else had just commented last night. It's in the same building. Said they're paying $500 for that room too. I don't know if they're in the same room. Yeah, Victor, man, much appreciated, man. Glad to. Oh, the judge already spoke today. The government has 4 days to enforce it. Whoa! So what's that mean? The judge? Hey, send me a link to it if you can, Big Mike. The judge already spoke today. The guy, and I just looked too, man. It takes a lot of time. I mean, I guess if you're there, hopefully you see it before we do, man. But trying to find news from here, I'm in Houston, Texas, for those who don't know. I'm not in Medellin anymore. Just love Medellin, love to travel, and love to pass on as much information as I can, because I know a lot of you guys go on and need a little bit of help. So check out my videos. Hopefully some of it gives you some help. And if so, man, subscribe, like. The likes help though. So the government has 4 days to enforce it. Whoa, so does that mean the judge fought back and says, hey, I wrote the order, you know, when a judge writes an order, that's the law. So they have to enforce it. So now the government's trying to push back. I think they were just trying to delay it and trying to scramble to, I guess, get as much information as they can from sources like, the scientists or whoever, trying to use the scientists' words to say we don't really need it because 96 hours, a lot can happen in 96 hours. I got that all the time, though. I understood that 96 hours is not that, much time. And then you and a bunch of you guys, you commented, is it 96 hours before, because it said, I think the order said 96 hours, the results must be 96 hours before you go. Then it's like you need to have a negative test taken within 96 hours. And there was ambiguity there. I did want to ask, whoever's on here right now, if anybody was on before too, because I've had a bunch of people saying they had issues with the CheckMig website. So I wanted to throw that out there. Has anybody had issues with the CheckMig, not getting the email response or it not going through? Me from the outside, without booking any flights or any plans, I can't see past that first page. So I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, let me know about that. If you have a link to it, let me know or what periodical you got that from, Big Mike, because I'd like to get that out. Because 4 days, what's today? The 3rd, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So by next Monday they have. Oh, you did the test and the CheckMate worked fine? Okay. I've had a couple so does the CheckMate have to send you an email? Because supposedly I'm hearing that you need to have some like printed form or something when you get there too. And I know there's a bunch of people going to Medellin, man. I could sell Medellin. If you watch my video, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many videos. I've done so many videos ago about, and what's this site? It does comparisons between different parts of the world, different cities, different, you name it. So I did comparisons between every place and against Medellin. And man, when it comes to healthcare, cost of living, all that stuff, Medellin is always winning. Oh yeah, you do need to print it. So you didn't have any issues with it? Yeah, man. I don't know what I've heard within the past 2 days. Go look at the comments. Like 3 or 4 people said that. Somebody even asked me to do a video on that. Oh, just show it on your cell. Oh, so do you like shrink it, or is it like a barcode where they scan it? I've never seen it, so I don't know. That's right, Keith, you said that. So outside by side. Tanya, what's up? Hey. Keith, yeah, you never get, so you told me, so when you say it was horrible, so you go through all the questions and all that and then hit send or whatever you do at the end, and they're supposed to email you something and it didn't come? Is that what happened? Oh, you do need the email. Ah, okay, Juno, you going in January. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. And Juno said, I'm supposed to go in January, but if I have to get a COVID test and a quarantine, I'm not going. I don't blame you. I would do the test. And you've heard me say it. I mean, if you can swing the money, I don't want to be cavalier about affording the money, however much it costs. I don't know. Well, I do know because I've taken the test 4 times and an antibody test. But the insurance covered most of it, except one time I paid for it. And the antibody test cost me out the pocket. You're going to, yeah, but what gets me though, and what's killing a lot of people, man, is the quarantine, the possibility of a quarantine. Who wants to do a quarantine for 14 days? What if your trip is only 14 days or 7 days? You can't. Now you got to cancel your flight. So this is up in the air. According to Big Mike, if you just jumped on, Keith or Victor, if you guys just jumped on and you saw, Big Mike said the judge ordered them to get it done within 4 days, ordered it to be enforced within 4 days. I guess that's next Monday. So now I got to stay on top of that story. Excuse me. The January. Well, tell me who's there and who's going, by the way. Who's down in Medellin already and who's going? Should just email it to your cell. Okay, yeah. But that's if you get the email. I think some people are saying they're not getting the email. Gabby. Videos are really great. Have you heard anything about Guatemala and their policies for entering the country? I'm planning on going to end of the month right after Christmas. Hey, Gab, how you doing? Hey, you know, I wrote down here too. I just saw a story on Guatemala having some issues with the government and burning down a government building and so on. But yeah, they started allowing people in. When was it? August? Back in August, something like that. So yeah, you can go to Guatemala now. I would have gone last weekend instead of going to Denver and Vail. We would have gone to Guatemala, definitely. But they didn't have any straight flights, and then Catherine didn't have her passport updated, or it expired. It expires within 6 months, and we don't want to take any chances with that now. But a straight flight, because I can get to Guatemala almost as quick as I can get to Colorado. That was my first flight. Okay, Keith said immigration requires the confirm email. Yeah, okay. Victor, here in Boston, they are charging $200 for a PCR test, and you get the result in 1 or 2 days. Which is, yeah, you ain't lying. That's ridiculous. Most centers are taking 5 to 10 bits. Is that a Boston thing? Because here in Houston, I can get it done at Quest and get the results back in a couple of days. And actually, my insurance, well, my last insurance, we just switched it. I went to, and I don't know if you saw that video. They sent me to CVS, and I'm thinking somebody's going to come out CVS and do the swab. No, they give you a package, hand it through the little opening. They don't even come outside and tell you to do it yourself. So I still don't know if I was pushing far enough, but I don't know. Until I take an antibody test again, I won't know. Keith, I don't blame you, man. I'm not doing. I wouldn't do a 14-day quarantine. Who's going to travel 14? Who's got 14 days? Now, unless you're moving there, yeah, I get it. Okay. Victor, CheckMeg only allows you to check in 24. That's true, yeah. Yeah, and I try, I can only get past the first page when it starts asking me details, and I'm out. But I did look at the front page. It tells you to click English, Spanish, and that's as far as I can go. December 16th is your flight. Man, good luck. Is that your first time? Let me know who's been there, who's going there. If it's your first time. Hey, Gabby, where are you coming from? You found a direct flight because we like Spirit. I like Spirit because we can get the big seats up front, just do the upgrade. And we're the first on. Nobody's next to us. It's just 2 to a row. And then we can jump off first, too. They board first. Okay. Marty, what's up? It's quiet around this park. Yeah, I bet, man. I don't know. So you're there now? Juno, the video I have walking around Laureles is a nice area. Which street was that? So I go up myself. I don't remember the name of the street myself. Big Mike, if you're still here, you can comment on that. But it's the same street that Sweet Georgia Cafe is. I started at like 33rd, where you saw that video, where I did the little street performance. And I walked up that street. That, man, beautiful. I love that area. If I were to go back, that's the area. If I were to live there, if I were to move there, that's where I would stay. and go to 1968 Burgers and Fries. If you're there, Juno, 1968 Burgers and Fries, walk up that street to the circle. Just ask around, somebody can tell you. Lost a nomad, Colombia talk. I've been in Colombia for a few weeks now. Things are fine. Just wear a mask. Yeah. But I'm seeing the videos of people walking around Yaris Park, man, and everybody not wearing a mask. And that's just walking around. I get if you're sitting at the table and it's outside, but, if you watch my videos, I'm tight on this, man. I'm trying to stay safe. I got diabetes, and I want to be the first one on the list to get the vaccine. If I take the vaccine and my head fall off, or loose, I'd be just a loose head vaccine taking person. Marty 5081, do you need health insurance to enter Colombia without a visa for 90 days? Can anybody answer that question? From my understanding months ago during my research and in my talk with Ed down there, that you do need traveler's insurance, well, a health part of your traveler's insurance. So that's what I was told. Oh, Victor's your fourth time? Yeah, man. You gotta love Medellin, man. And if you're in Florida, someplace that's easy to get to, Gabby, you're in New York. I don't know, and that's a straight shot from New York. Whoa. Well, you're going to Guatemala. That's not bad. Have you been before? Have you been to Antigua? Oh, if you haven't been to Antigua, I'm gonna look for your comment on this because I'm gonna talk about Antigua. Only in America, 007. I'm flying December 9th, Ecuador from Chicago. Yeah, that's right. I might swing by Colombia. I might. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. How's Ecuador? Always wanted to go, man. To sit right on the line and watch the toilets flush. Watch the water turn this way on the north side and turn that way on the south side. I always want to see that. It's El Tiempo. Okay. Thanks, Big Mike. I need to take a look at that. They must have just did that a little while ago. I was just looking for it. Okay, Victor, went last year for December, went this year in January, then returned in February, March, left March. 16 times I had my layover in Panama. I don't know where you're coming from, man, but I've spent probably 3 days for probably 3 or 4 trips transferring in Panama. I know that airport. I could give tours in the Panama airport. The first time I went for business. That's how I ended up in Colombia the first time. When they told me I was going to Colombia, I was like, whoa, I know we're Colombian. I thought Medellin, I said, yeah, it was a few years ago. And I was like, when I got there, I was like, whoa, man. And the people I went down there and met for business, man, hooked me up, took me around Frisbee's Chicken. I went there for Frisbee's Chicken, man, and Subway Sub Shop. I helped them with their computers and stuff. Los Lentes. Man, I'm coming to Guatemala as soon as I can. As soon as they can have a direct flight from here. They did have direct flights in the beginning of December. Now I checked a couple days ago and they changed it. Yeah, so Gabby, if you can get a direct flight from New York to Guatemala, did you say, yes, you have been to Antigua? Let me know. Lost the Nomad Colombia talk, don't need insurance for travel. You don't need insurance? Okay, so nobody's checking? I don't know how it goes now because I haven't been there since the beginning of COVID, so trust me, I know that airport though. I know that drill. It's best to come if you come in the MDE, for me, it's early in the morning, 7 o'clock. If you can get in at 7 o'clock or 11:30 at night, something like that, you waste the night, but still. Yeah, Keith, you ain't lying, man. Medellin has some perfect weather. That's my number one reason. I forgot who I was commenting to earlier today or yesterday, man. The weather cannot be beat. And I just watched Carlton's video earlier, and he was in Cartagena, which I've never been. And for the reasons that he was saying, man, it's hot, it's sweaty, and there's bugs up here. Like he said, I barely had one mosquito a month come through in Medellin. And I had the same issue, man. And Big Mike, you know the building I was in, man, I used to leave the patio door open and the window open 24/7. I was on the 9th floor, so nobody's gonna climb in. Never had every once, maybe one mosquito and one fly per month. And it used to drive me crazy at first, but then they come in one window or the door and they go out the other side. Never had a problem with it. Man, Medellin weather is. Now, somebody tell me though, how's the weather now? Because I'm told that it's been raining a little bit. Okay, health insurance is only required for visas, Big Mike says. The tourist are on a permit and not a visa. Yeah, I thought the stamp was considered a visa, but I'm probably wrong. So yeah, so if you're going to be there longer than 90 days, or you're trying to get a scheduler, then you're going to need your, and you probably need to go through. You probably have to have a scheduler to get your health insurance too. I forgot the process. Ed told me all the. If you haven't seen that video with me, the comprehensive guide, I forgot what I entitled it to. Moving to Colombia. It's like 2 different episodes. Check that out, because Ed down there, Ed Richardson. If you haven't met him, if you're down there, go to Sweet Georgia Cafe. If you haven't been there, let me know. Let me know who's been to Sweet Georgia Cafe. Who knows Rob? I haven't been to the new one yet, though. Gabby Result, yes, I love it there. Okay. I have family in the city, and we spend every summer with it. Yes, man, Antigua is, if you haven't been to Guatemala, my Medellin people, I have done a video, because the first time I went to Antigua, Guatemala City, and Antigua, I did a comparison between Medellin and Antigua, because I love both so much. Still to this day, 2 of my favorite cities. I like Amsterdam, don't get me wrong, but 2 of my favorite cities in the world. And I like the Philippines. But oh my God, you want to know? It's old, it's historical, and it's like living back 100 years ago. Everything is like brand new, but like sturdy wood and everything. Now, Antigua's a little bit pricier, but I'm telling you, especially if you're going as a couple, if you're looking for a trip to go from the U.S. that's close by, Antigua, you cannot go wrong. Watch my videos there. You got to love it. I mean, we climb mountains and to get to the lake Atitlan, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Victor, did you visit El Caribe restaurant in Panama? No, I never left. I've never been to Panama. Only at the Panama airport. I got stuck in there for hours and hours. Ruby, my nephew is moving to Medellin in January. Good for him. How old is he, by the way? Is it his first time there? Anybody, this is a good place. If I can answer any questions on Medellin, and hopefully somebody else who's there can answer questions about Medellin, because I haven't been there in a minute. I haven't been there in just over a year. I probably would have been back, but because of the virus, man, last week, week and a half ago was just over a week was the first time I flew. Check out that video too. I did the Denver one last week, and Vail, Colorado is coming up in a couple of days too. Yeah, Medellin is all that. I don't know how everybody's hearing from Medellin. How are you hearing about it? How do people even hear about Medellin, and how do they know it's a spot to go? Gabby, yes, I've been to Antigua. The views and the weather are beautiful. The flight is direct, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Wow. Wow. Yeah, but I'm from Texas, and I'm not trying to be on a plane, but for so long. And I forgot who that was that said, I don't know if that was Brian or Keith or whoever that said that, yeah, how you go to a restaurant and you sit down and you eat and they ain't coughing on your food in the back. Was that you, Keith? Lost Nomad Colombia talk, been raining a bit, but been away for 5 days. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Juno, I think you should buy insurance if you can get it. It's only $20 and you have protection for up to $20,000. Yeah, I would. If I'm going to go, it may not be required, but yeah, I would definitely get travel's insurance. That little checkbox when you're booking your tickets and they ask you, do you want this? And you always go no, or I always go no. Yeah, I would. I would now. I would not fly without, as a matter of fact. Yeah. EJ, what's up, brother? How much is airfare to Medellin? How long is the flight? It depends. From Houston, there are no straight flights. The best I could do was to go from here to Florida and book separate tickets, because otherwise there was a long layover. So I booked like American. American had cheap flights back then, like $55. I'd get to FLL or MIA and then fly from there to Medellin. Otherwise, you'll have to transfer somewhere else. And somebody showed me last week that they saw tickets for like $69, $99 or something like that, from like Detroit or something like that. It's not from Houston, that's for sure. But I'm going to guess it's about, for me, if I were to look it up, it'd be at least $600 with one carry-on, and I'd have to transfer too. I'm not trying to transfer. I'm not trying to be in a plane too long. Yeah, I think it's it's 2.5 hours from here to Florida, something like that. And then the flight gets long. It's like 4.5 hours, I think, from Florida. Anybody ever flown from Florida? Let me know how long it is. But yeah, it's not that long. Once it settles down, EJ, let me know if you want to go. Lost to Nomad Colombia talk. I'm here and been traveling Colombia mostly, Medellin for 10 years. Yeah, man. 10 years? Wow. So you've been all around then. I'm going to tell you how much I love Medellin. I never left it. I could have gone to other than going to Guatemala and climbing the mountain, El Pino. Other than that, yeah, I loved it that much. The weather was just that good. If I haven't told you the weather's good in Medellin, or you didn't read it here, the weather is good in Medellin, Colombia. I've never seen weather like that anywhere. Yeah, it would rain. It would rain for an hour, downpour, and then blow away. Got a little pollution, but so do we, especially if you on a certain side of town here. Only in America, 007. Just moved. I'm a truck driver and for Colorado. My route is terrible during the winter. Yeah, man. We went to Colorado last week. Woke up with snow, which is one thing I'm not. Good thing it melted away in Vail, and then got back to Denver and woke up, and we were going to go to Wyoming. 4 inches of snow. Scrap that trip. I'm not driving. I'm not driving in no snow, especially in a rental. Well, not my own either. Victor, Narcos got me hooked. You know what? I never watched Narcos until I lived there. And when I did, I was like, it all came together. I always said, I don't know why I thought watching it. And when I got there, and I guess I had the cable had it, and I saw it. Yeah, man, it got me. Then it all made sense. Okay. The change and how, man, the conflict fighting, they went through some hell back in the 80s, early 90s. Not that long ago, really. But Cherokee, yeah, the only thing I knew about Medellin was probably, for real, that's all I knew. So when I knew I was going for business and they said Colombia, I said, okay, you think one thing. And then they said Medellin, I think, okay. And I got there, man, fell in love with it, man. Fell in love with it. And I went towards the end of the year. They had some festival. I think school was out. It was squirting foam all around Parquilleras. People would just ride around motorcycles. And then ever since that, man, I was like hooked. Went in with my fellas that picked me up. They took me out that night. Had some drinks at Parquillera. You know the liquor store, De Licores, right next to down the street from Gusto, right on the corner where the statue is. And then we were standing in the liquor store, and they poured a couple of drinks and said, "Here you go, Rob." I said, "We gonna drink this here? We gonna drink this here?" He said, "Yeah, drink." That was my first time trying aguardiente too. Let me know if you ever tried that, man. You know if you had that look on your face. Ruby. He's 27, fell in love with the city 2 years ago. Yeah. I went to Cartagena last year. Yeah. I haven't been to Cartagena. I just heard it's hotter and people harass you on the beach trying to sell you stuff, and that's not for me. I just like Medellin. I still never did everything I want to do in Medellin. Juno says ticket on Spirit cost him $180 from Connecticut. Is that straight shot? 180 is not bad. Round trip? You couldn't have had bags or anything like that. By the way, Spirit had some specials a couple days ago, man. It was like going to DC, I think it was like $40. I should have bought it. Okay, Gabby, thanks much. Have a great, you too. Thanks for joining. Thanks for everybody who's joining up too, who's popping online with me. This is my first live. I don't know if I'd have one or two people here, but anyway, Cherokee, 440 Canadian. That's right. You're coming from Canada. Now, Canada, that's right. Because you told me you don't want to do a quarantine there and back because you have a quarantine when you get back in Canada. I was telling you, man, I would love to move to Canada if I could. That would be my second choice from here. At least we get treated better. Let's see. $1,500 Canadian return ticket, but not over Christmas season. That's 15. Yeah. Yeah, you got to avoid the rush. Everybody's going this time of year. It seems like more and more people are going, but they're saying it's still only 5% of what the travel was last year. I lost Nomad. The Narco show made MDE popular. Yeah, maybe that's it. But how does that make it popular though? Because watching that show didn't make me want to go. If I had to watch that show before I'd have gone, I'd have probably been more nervous about going. BT, Bonded Team, what's up, man? All is good on this end, man. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for jumping in. We were just talking about Guatemala, Antigua a second ago. Marty, where's the best place to go out now at night? You talking about Yetta? I mean, talking about in Colombia? Somebody else needs to join in and answer that question. I mean, everybody always, all the tourists head up on Yeres and 70. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say 33, but you know, that's another strip. I look skinny. What's that mean? EJ, when's the best month to visit Medellin for 5-day vacation? I would say summertime. Anybody else can add in answer that question, but I would say summertime or really anytime. I mean, that's all I have to go on. Some other people may be able to tell me about the rainy season. I think, like they said, the fall is more some of the rainy season. I don't know. I haven't been, but I know every day is beautiful. If it rains, it blows on by. It's not like a hurricane where it's going to be a downpour. Because remember, it's surrounded by mountains. So kind of like Mexico City keeps all the stuff out or in, really. Lost in Nomad Colombia talk. You're in Austin. Yeah. Layover in Miami or Mexico City, 3 hours each flight. Yeah, I mean, that's not that bad, really. A 3-hour flight is not that bad. But like I said, if you saw my video the other day going to Denver, I don't get how United all the way halfway through the flight wants to, okay, we're serving food now. Not food, but snacks. You want some water? You want a drink? You want a soda? So now everybody's taking their mask off at the same time. So now I got on a mask and I got my shield on too. I took a shield. That's right. I was prepared. Austin's not bad. Austin to Miami. How much was that flight, by the way? Lost in Nomad Colombia talk. Local paisa, hate the narco stuff. Oh yeah, that's another thing. And for those who haven't been yet, don't go down, bring it up. Narco, don't mention. I mean, don't even bring up his name if you don't have to. Why bring it up? It's a sore subject. It's just like if you were in Germany after World War II and all of a sudden you start going there asking questions. They want that to be a history. Real beef from Florida, approximately 2.5 hours. Okay, there you go, EJ. 2.5 hours? Straight shot to my Medellin? I thought it took me longer than that. And Lisa wants to know 3 months. 3 months. And then I came back, of course. I came back for our now 12-year-old, came back for her swim. And like I said, if you haven't seen that video, for those whoever asked, why'd I come back? That was it. It was the kids. If you see that video of me getting out the Uber and the kids running up and giving me a hug, not going to get that in Medellin. And everybody has different reasons for going. I was going to get away. I wasn't going for women. I was going to get away. I'd already been there before. I knew the weather was good. I knew the dollar was strong. By the way, I looked at the dollar versus the peso earlier. It's now 34.68. This is the lowest they say it's been since March. But watch my older videos and you'll see most older cats go for different reasons. I'm sure a bunch of you are going for the girls. Go for it. But I walk around HEB here and I'm like, man, this girl's here. And plus, this is a question I got for you guys there too. Who's having an issue if you don't speak Spanish? Because man, the struggle was real for me. And I speak a little Spanish. I speak enough to get by. But once they start talking a real paisa, and that's all you miss one. That's all you hear. Yeah, round trip, but you got to pay for back. Yeah, that's how they get you. And if you want to pick a seat, yeah, they charge you for the seats. Thanks, Juno. Lost in Nomad Colombia talk. Emil go for Ferreria de Flores in August. Yeah. So EJ, he's saying, yeah, August or in December. Yeah, December's, they're big. It's a big Catholic or Christian town, so they do it big for Christmas. I haven't been. I've seen pictures and videos of the lights, but I haven't been yet. But yeah, this time of year would be, it'd be nice to get out there right now. I wish I could get a straight flight, a straight shot. I would see if we can go down and do that once somebody got their passport done. She knows who she is. Juno, never been to Belize, and it's right next to Guatemala. And I want to go because you got a lot of ex-slaves down there, not ex-slaves, but a lot of ex-slaves landed in Belize and that part of Colombia. I'm sorry, not Colombia, Guatemala. And so, because it's right next to Guatemala. So yeah, I always wanted to go down that way. I forget the name of the town down there. Bonded Team, if you're on, you know what that is. Bonded Team is like my expert for Guatemala. Matt, hey, thanks for all the info and the updates. You've been helping us out a lot. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the positive feedback. Again, I get those people, man, you stupid. You so stupid, or fake news. Okay. So recently I've done the videos in the past 3 days. I put the date on it for a reason, because if you watch a video from 3 days ago, it's not as many answers as there are in the video 2 days ago, and more in the video from yesterday. So, so for somebody to come on there and look at it's like watching an old news program and going, this is fake. This is fake. There's no 9/11, So anyway, I don't get that part. I'll argue a little bit, then let it go. Urban Nomad, I've been to Antigua and residency in Guatemala. Oh yeah, Antigua, man, beautiful. EJ, if you want to go somewhere, if you haven't been to Guatemala, I would definitely say go to Guatemala first, even before Medellin. Sorry to Medellin, but it's closer. It's a straight shot if you can get it from here. And it's still inexpensive. It's not as inexpensive as Medellin. Again, I've done all the comparison, and Medellin is just beat the heck out of everybody unless you're in Southeast Asia. And the difference with that is there's totally different time zone. You're up when people here are down. And if you still have communications or you're still working, I couldn't do that struggle. I needed something the same time zone. But Southeast Asia, if anybody ever been to the Philippines or Vietnam, or shoot, what's the other one? Thailand, man, get over there if you can. I haven't been to Thailand yet, but I want to go. Antigua was absolutely beautiful. 1100 from Boston to Medellin, dates of December 16th to 11th. American Airlines economy. American Airlines, by the way, if you didn't see that video I did, it was voted the best airline in America. I've barely flown them too. I wish they did more out of here. $1,100, Victor. Man, that's steep. You must want to go. $1,100. Whoa. Economy too. I hope that includes something. I mean, I'm sure you get bags, but that can't be a straight flight though, right? Because that's a long flight. Lost of Nomad Colombia talk. 33 is good, but most local, yeah. 33, 33 is good. Most locals, it's 70. Yeah, so you're looking for good spots to go, then check out 70. And what's the other one? Nutibara or something like that over there too? It's a bunch over there. Anywhere in our neighborhoods, man, really beautiful to walk. At night, daytime, I felt safe, like I said, the whole time. And then you go with somebody else and you're always safe, man. Nobody really picks on groups because somebody's always watching out, unless you all drunk. Stephen, thanks for all the updates. Truly great work. Thank you, sir. Thank you, much appreciated. I'm doing what I can. I'm doing a little research and I'm reading a story. So when I hear people say that's fake news, I go, I'm reading a story. I'm not making this up. Originally got JetBlue for $450 round trip, canceled, and got the refund. Okay. Urban Nomad. What you going for Spanish? What you mean going on Spanish? Yo hablo muy poquito español, okay? Mi ex esposa es latina, así yo aprendo poquito. Stephen, the worst reason to go to Colombia is if you go for a woman. There's a couple people going, and if you met somebody there, it's two things to get a man moving, and that's in this country anyway, and that's a man or a job. A woman or a job. So whoever's going to bring you here, if you're a woman, a man will bring you here. If a person is into you, then they'll accept you how you come. That's true. That's true. However you come. Keith, he paid $210, Cleveland and Medellin last week on Spirit. Round trip? Man, why is every other place in the world cheaper than coming from Houston? Houston is a large city too. I don't get it. Broke my heart last week listening to in the airport when we landed. They said the flight to Bogota has just left. Livingston, Bonnet team, I knew you know it. Yeah, Livingston is a town I think on the border of Guatemala and Belize. And it's like the ex-descendants of ex-slaves, of slaves. live there. They have their, is that the Gullah? They have their own dance. They have their own language. Yeah, I want to go. I want to get back to Guatemala so bad, man. You need to stroll around Zona Viva in Guatemala City. I don't think I've done that. You know, you were like my tour guide. I'd reach out to Bond and team before we go back. And, you know, we've been to Guatemala a few times in Antigua, Guatemala City, Ciudad Cayala. That's the ideal trip if you're going to Guatemala, I think anyway, is to do, especially for your first time, do Guatemala City, Ciudad Cayala. It's like an all-white city in the middle of Guatemala City. It's like an exclusive part of town. And then to do 2 days in Antigua and 2 days at the Lake Atitlan, which is in a volcano, the crater of a volcano. Beautiful, beautiful. Cherokee says, we're shocked on how cheap tickets are from Bogota to Medellin. More like a bus ticket. Well, Bogota to Medellin, they're close together, right? That can't be more than what? A 20-minute flight, 30-minute flight? Big Mike says 1,100 is just as bad as a 14-day quarantine. You ain't lying. $1,100. I couldn't swing. $1,100 needs to be my flight and a week's lodging and food, really. Because you know when you book your Airbnbs, the shorter period of time you're there, the more it costs you. So, and like I go back and check my video on how I gave you a little tip on Airbnb too. Because you know if you're going to stay for 3 weeks, you get a better price if you ask for it for a month. So book it for a month and then leave a week earlier. Say, hey, something came up, I got to go. Then they got the place for an extra week and you got a little bit of a discount. All helps out in the end. But yeah, the dollar is 34 now. Wow. It was 38 a couple of days ago. Yeah, it was, what did I write? I wrote it down. It was 41 in March. 40, it looked like it went up right before, right when the virus took off, and it stayed up and it's little by little it's coming down. So this is the lowest. So the dollar still is strong there, but it's not what it was. It's actually about the same as it was. Let me see, 34. Yeah, it's about the same as it was when I was there last year, which for me was still good, you know. Ruby, estoy aprendiendo durante esta pandemia. Let me see. I am understanding during the pandemic. I don't read Spanish too much, but yo habla poquito, bastante. Kush Seti, how you doing? Oh, Keith says 210 from Cleveland to Medellin. Wow. See, good deal. Cherokee, and they go back and forth almost hourly. Lots of direct flights to Bogota from Toronto, and so's the option. And yeah, that's an option. Yeah, man, every place, but you know, and I've checked when I book for flights too. I check from Dallas because I'll drive to Dallas to save. Well, I need to save at least $250 to drive to Dallas. Give me $100 to drive to Austin, or nothing. Well, nothing big is going out of San Antonio, but at least I can drive to those cities if I'm gonna get somewhat of a good deal. Keith says, yeah, round trip. And Cushy's asking for the website. Steven says, I meant going for prostitution. What was that? What did you mean? What did you say? The worst reason to go to Colombia if you go, oh, okay, yeah. The worst reason if you're going for prostitution. Yeah, well, we got them here too, but to fly down there for that, I don't get it. Y'all know I'm an old cat. For those who watch me, sometimes I'm 58 years old, man. I'm done it, been there. And I'm from DC. So I've done there and been it 10 times before I moved to Texas. I love Texas, by the way. I love Texas. I'm repping Texas. By the way, if anybody who watches me often or likes any of the video production that I put out, I am doing another channel I'm working on right now. It's called Big City Houston. Actually went out and filmed a little bit right now, just getting the logo and logistics, all that stuff, but that'll be up shortly because I remember someone told me it's better to be a big fish in a small pond. You know, I'm doing what I can to give out as much information as I can on Medellin and Colombia and wherever else I've been that you may want to go. Yeah, mostly just to encourage you guys to travel. It does change who you are, man. When you get into somebody, you know, engross yourself into somebody else's culture, it changes who you are for the better. At least I believe. Yeah, round trip. Let's see. What keeps going on? Garifuna people. That's right. Yeah, that's who they're called. And I think they're on both sides of the border too, if I'm not mistaken, on the team. from Guatemala to Belize. The people are called the Garifuna people. Let's see, Bonneton, at the lake, you can go stay at Hotel Atitlan. Yeah, I forgot what the name of the one was that? Or are you talking about the one next to the hotel we stayed at? I mean, the one we stayed at, it was an older hotel. I mean, it was a nice hotel. It was an okay hotel. I forgot the walls were thin. It was a couple of issues, but the view, when you wake up and you see 3 volcanoes off your patio, and watch my video from there too. That was from Guatemala. That was some of my, I think that may have been one of my best videos. I forgot what the name of it. Where do we go? Not Panajachel. We went to a small town, Chichicastenango. Yeah. Look at that video. If you can spell Chichicastenango, I can't. But yeah, Guatemala. Guatemala on the Lake Atitlan is beautiful. Marty says he paid 1250 euros. You know, dollars are more than euros too. Returning to Amsterdam to fly to Medellin. You coming from Amsterdam? I love Amsterdam, man. Some of the best food we had was in Amsterdam too, traveling. Love Amsterdam. Love Amsterdam. Yeah, dollars at a record low. Is this the lowest it's been there? This is what it was last year when I moved there. I know it's the lowest it's been this year, or since March anyway. Marty says 180,000 enough to get by over there for 5 or 6 months. 18,000. Are you talking about $18,000? US dollars? Let me know, Marty. Keith, you can answer that one. He's saying is 18,000 enough to get by over there for 5 or 6 months. You must mean dollars because it ain't pesos. 18,000 pesos ain't gonna get you too far. Cherokee said 50. Yeah, I look young. Let me tell you something. When I get out this chair, I know I'm 58. Stuff start creaking and popping. Victor, I wish it was a straight flight. Leave Boston at 6 a.m. Arrive Miami 6 a.m. 9:45 layover in Miami for an hour. That's not bad. The layover is not bad. Depart Miami at 11:30. Get to Medellin at 2 in the afternoon. I mean, you wait 6 a.m. 9:45. Layover in Miami for an hour. Depart Miami. So how you have only an hour layover in Miami and you don't get there? Oh, get to 2 in the afternoon. I'm mixing it up. I'm thinking you coming in at night. Okay, yeah. That's not bad. 11:30 to 2. But do you jump a time zone? You lose an hour? Is it like 3.5 hours? How long? Well, somebody said 2.5 hours. How long is it from, if you know, from Miami to Medellin? But getting there 2 in the afternoon is a good time. You know, find you a traveler. What's up, Jay? What's up, man? Jay Love. Book your, somebody to pick you up. Find somebody to pick you up, and that's easy to get. I mean, I can ask somebody on your behalf, but make sure you have a driver. Don't get out there fooling around. If it's your first time, don't get out there fooling around. Waiting for an Uber or taking a taxi. I don't do taxis, man. If I go back, I'd still do Uber, even if it is illegal. I just have to put a plastic bag over my head or something. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work sitting up front. J Love in the building. Keith, yeah. I look good for my age. Yeah, man. 50, 57 is the lighting, man. I got young lights on. J Love, did you hear that the health ministry in Medellin is proposing to temporarily shut down bars and clubs until January? Yeah, I heard that. And I actually read a little bit about it on InfoBay, that it was I thought it was from December 1st until January 15th or 16th, something like that. But that it depended upon the area. So I think the mayors are like in charge of it. I don't know if that's countrywide. Maybe somebody can tell me there. Big Mike, you know about that? Bars and clubs. I'm not going to mention the place that I'm familiar with. I do all the other time, but I know they going to still be open. And by the way, man, you make sure before you go, if you haven't been to Medellin before, make sure you get the app, the Rappi app, RAPPI or RAPPI. They bring you anything. They bring you Smirnoff, they bring you food, they bring you money. That's right. You can have money. They will bring you, and it's just like the app, like the Uber app. You'll see them on a little scooter. Next thing you know, ding dong. I meant to do a video on that because I had so many ding dongs. I would order food, 2 and 3 meals at a time. That way, after my first meal, go back and look at my old videos when I was there in that apartment and I cooked that. I reheated some salmon and I cooked some corn. That was the last time I cooked in that apartment. And that was like my first week. That was a wrap. I was done. And I can cook. But If you haven't been there, the food is not the same. The groceries are not the same. A slice of cheese there is not like a slice of cheese here. The mustard there is not like the mustard here. And a whole bunch of other things. I'm gonna leave the food alone because I know where that's gonna go. Somebody's gonna ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it, and somebody place is gonna get PO'd. So I'm gonna leave the food alone. You know, I mean, Americans are used to salt. You know, we're used to salt. It's just the way it is. And when you go there, not a lot of salt, not a lot of seasoning, except 1968 burgers and fries. Or go to Bastardos up at Talleres. J-Lab, did you hear that? Oh, yeah, okay. Diego Armando, hey, what's up? You watched it yesterday about the PCR testing in Colombia. Has anything changed? Well, Big Mike says that I think the judge says you have 4 days to comply, which my calculations makes that next Monday. I'm going to go look it up. He said it's in El Tiempo paper, so look up El Tiempo paper to set your browser to change it to Spanish if it doesn't already. But yeah, I'll if I find that story tonight, then I'll try to do it for tomorrow to put it up for those who aren't on tonight. What kind of information on my new channel? Stephen asked for Houston, all about Houston. I want to be #1 in Houston. I want to pass on the information to anybody that's moving to Houston, that lives in the Houston, has never been to the Arboretum, or never been to the top of the Williams Tower, or never got to go to NASA, never been to Galveston, never been to, I mean, pick it. Houston's a huge city, 3rd largest city in the country, if you're not familiar with it. So there's a lot to do, a lot to see. I want to go drag racing again. I just hope there's so much to do in this city. Now it's not so much unless it's outside, so you can still get out. But I mean, personally, I have to be careful. So, you know, there's a lot to show. Moving to Houston, living in Houston, what to do, things to do in Houston, what's going on, news in Houston. I'm going to pass on everything about Houston. When I pass on that information, I live here, so I can go take a walk and do a quick video. Okay, bonded teams of Garifuna are in Honduras, Belize, Guate, and St. Vincent Island. Yeah, that's the Garifuna people. Yeah, I have to go back to Guatemala. Man, I'm working on it. Los Lentes, I'm working on it too, man. Ruby says, have a good night. Hey, you too. Thanks for joining us again. J-Love, don't do taxes in Medellin if you're not familiar with the city. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I won't. I've done it a couple times. I mean, I was late for like dance classes or something, so I had to take it because 6 o'clock, all the Ubers start dropping off. There are other ways to get around the city. I just used Uber, and at that point, it was illegal. But you just get in the car, you sit up front. You have to sit up front so you look inconspicuous. Don't sit in the back. Who's going to be driving you around? You sit in the back. But now, how they going to do it? I need plastic in between me, and I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Really, I haven't thought that far. But you're right. I mean, I wouldn't do taxis unless I had to. And watch my video I did a few times ago on scams, when they'll switch the money in the car at night. You pass them a 50 and they give you back a 5 real quick, and they hand it to you, and you think, whoa, I gave them a 5. I know it was a 50. Yeah, they'll get you if you're not paying attention. 1,500 a good base point, not including partying. 1,500. Okay, so Marty, what'd you say? 15,000? 18,000. Okay. Big Mike is on the ground there, just so you guys know. There's a few people there that have boots on the ground, so ask away now. Whereas I can't answer because I'm not there. There are people on here and that watch the video, that comment often, that are there or getting ready to go, and they can tell you the experiences that they're having. I'd like to do a video with some of you guys if you want to do like a Zoom chat and just get a bunch of people there so you can speak and not just me, and we can get your feedback from being, live on the ground or on your way there. Just show the process. Because if you haven't been before, you really don't know what to do when you get there. And that's one reason I put some videos out I have in the past, the denominations, because you'll get mixed up between a 50 and a 5 and a 10 and 100. Yeah, it can happen. It's happened to me. And I thought I was pretty straight with it. Yeah, 18,000. Marty says 18,000. 18,000? How long did you say? Wait a minute. Let me go back and look at this. How long did you say? Now I can't find it. 18,000? You straight baller. Yeah. Catherine says bring seasoning. Shane Line. You know, the more Americanized places have more Americanized food, but you're going to pay more Americanized prices. You know, if you eat like a local, you can save some money. You can gain some weight too, but you'll save some money. If you saw my videos, again, I apologize to any Paisa people there. Those Garifuna people did not suffer as much as the other ones in the American continent. That is true, because somehow they got off the boat first before they ended up in the U.S. And they actually had their culture and know where they came from, whereas we don't. Victor's laughing, said 18,000 pesos. Just so I know, wait, I'm sitting right here. Where is my calculator? Well, it's not calculating, it's just telling me what it is right now. Okay. No, what was that, 18,000? Oh, 18,000 pesos. I gotta know what that is. Come on. It's not working. Oh, 8,000. It's not working. Whatever. It's not. I used to just divide by 3, so 18,000, and take a little bit more off. That's where it's about right now. So 6,000. So he's thinking 18,000 pesos is 6,000. Yeah, especially the ones in Livingston. Yeah. Yeah, I got to learn about the history. Tribu Leon. Did I see you in Poblado last year in November walking around with a Washington Nationals jersey? No, never wore a Washington Nationals jersey. There was no Washington Nationals when I was there, when I lived in DC. And last time I went to DC, 3 or 4 months ago, I had when I just ran away and grabbed pizza, I took my Redskins, because I'm a Redskin fan, of course. Took my Redskin cap, and all of a sudden they said they changing the name, and for obvious reasons. And then now I can't wear the hat anymore. Juno, you ever watch Life with David? He's from Houston, and he said he don't like Houston too much. I do watch Life with David. If you haven't watched his channel, cool cat. He's there. He speaks Spanish and he's fluent too. And I've heard a couple of his videos. He said, yeah, he's from Houston. I think he said he's from the Woodlands. And he didn't like Houston. Well, obviously he moved. I mean, if I had a choice between Houston and Medellin, yeah. You know, if nothing's holding you in one place or the other, then yeah, go for it. Definitely beat the heck out of the weather here, because it gets hot as heck here in summer. But no, I love Houston, man. I'm coming from DC too. So remember, DC, when I was there and growing up, was rough. We were the murder capital, you know, and it's just stressed. It's just stressful. You know, there's two cultures fighting each other. I like Houston is mixed. It's like 30-30-30, black, white, Spanish, and 10% everything else. Everybody is here in Houston. Everything is represented. Everybody gets along. Houstonians help each other. Your house floods, your neighbor will help. It's that kind of place. You know, in DC, your house flood, and they'll be blocking it so don't come into their house. It's just the way it was. It was dog eat dog. It was rough. It was rough. It took me a while to get out of, you know, like I say, don't be too American when you go to Colombia or you go to wherever, to Europe or wherever. Don't be too American. Have that attitude. Same way I came from DC, man. I would get off the plane here. What? You know, it's like, what you looking at? It's something stupid. You stepped on my shoe or you shut the door on me. And I don't have that here in Houston, man. Everybody's been super cool with me. Yeah, but I like Life with David, man. If you haven't seen his channel, check him out. He's pretty cool guy. J Love, Didi is a good, reliable ride share. Yeah, I've heard of Didi. I haven't tried it. There's another one too, where that you bid. Is that the one that you bid on? You know, like you can pull up Uber and it says, okay, your trip may be, you know, 10 whatever, 10,000 pesos. And then, you know, because you will find yourself complaining going, you know, I just spent $3.20 to get over here. You were complaining like in the US, you can't get nowhere for $3.20. As soon as they start the car and drive around the corner, you at $3.20. But to drive across town in Medellin for $3.20, you start complaining when it goes up to $4 during a game. Because you know when a game is down there, when they're playing soccer, football, when they're playing soccer and you see everybody got their yellow jerseys on, the whole town shuts down, man. You just hear cheering every once in a while. J Love, Diddy. Yeah. That's right, J Love. That's right, you're from Bejo. How was it in Bejo, man? I know you told me a while back the virus was pretty bad down that way. I believe African Americans have it a lot better than Afro-Colombians. How would you quantify that? Because like I tell people, when I went there, you know, because I found that Colombians come in every shade and color, from the whitest of the white to the blackest of the black. So as long as I keep my mouth shut, I'm Colombian. So maybe it's the people there. I don't know. You have to tell me about that, Jay. Marty asked, is 18,000 enough to get by for 5 to 6 months? Well, that's what he said. Still, $18,000 for 5 to 6 months. You know how well you can live for $18,000 in Medellin, Colombia for 5 to 6 months? Whoa, 18,000 is a lot, man. Tribo Leon, the 80s in DC were rough. You ain't lying, man. It was real rough, man. A lot of people I know not here no more. They either, when you don't see people for a while, they either dead, they either in jail, or they joined the military to escape. Very few traveled and left like I did. But yeah, everybody goes through that struggle, and it's a different city now. Totally different city, gentrification. I'm just coming to grips with it right now, and I enjoyed my last trip there. If it weren't for the bugs, I can't deal with the bugs at all. Tribo Leon, Southeast. Did you live in Southeast, or you know about Southeast? I lived there for a little while. Northwest, Southeast, every place but Southwest. Shoot, back then, all of DC was rough. Yeah, man. It was when I was 17, 18. When I was 17, I didn't think I'd make it to 18. When I was 18, I didn't think I'd make it to 21. And I knew I'd get shot. So I had a big mouth, and I knew I would get shot. You know, that's when they stopped fighting and started shooting. And it's, you know, I'm glad to be out, man. I'm just glad to be out of that. You said 18,000 pesos won't get you so far. What is 18,000? What's the conversion? I need something because I want to know what 18,000 pesos. Well, I want to do it backwards. 181. It's not doing it for me. Whoa, 18. I'm not going on. 18,000 pesos is $5. So, yeah. So it just sounded so crazy. 18,000 is like, man, that's a lot of. You know how well you can live 18,000. You may be able to buy a condo. Marty 5081. No, I mean I have 18,000 US dollars for 6 months. Yeah, man. Just wondered you could live well. Yes, Lord, you can live well on 18,000. 18,000 for 6 months. Yeah, you can live good for 18,000 for 6 months. You can get a spot, I would say, for $1,000 a month and live like a king. Live like a king. You pay $1,000, and you know if you get an Airbnb, the longer you stay, the better rates you get too. Airbnb hosts don't want people coming and going and you know emptying it out. Then they gotta go release it. If you use Airbnb and you want to see some places, the next time you just want to see what the places look like and how much they cost, go way in the future. Go like 3 months, 6 months in the future when they're less liable to be booked. And then you'll be able to see what they are. Because if they're taken up now or for your date now within the next month or two, you don't get to see it when you search. Because when you search for a specific date, you're only going to see what's available during that date. So go 6 months out. You'll get a better idea as to what they look like. I wish I had $18,000 to go to Medellin. Be living good, man. Tribo Leon, you from Landover? Yeah, man. My cousin is out that way, man. Out 202. Out past Landover Mall, if you remember where that was. Yeah, man. What you know about PG County, man? Everybody in PG County, I mean, DC is so small, I think I can run across from one side to the other. Didn't know that when I was young, but I mean, literally it takes 10 minutes to drive across it, man, for real. Yeah, man, PG, well, we moved from DC to PG County, actually, just off of Maryland University, University Boulevard. Cherokee says, I was surprised how few bugs there were in Medellin. Yeah, they climbed the lack of bugs. That's a big benefit, man. That's the number one reason to go, as far as I'm concerned. You just don't get it anywhere here in the U.S. anyway, except one place maybe, and that's San Diego. I don't remember about the bugs, but I know the weather is like perfect right now. Today it's probably 60, 65. Just guessing. Yeah, that's a big one, man. Hey, Con. Yeah. Big Mike says, shout out to Red Essence in the backyard. What you know about Big Mike? Where you from? What you know about Red Essence, man? What you know about Essence, man? Go watch some of my old video. Did you see my go-go video I did? Because I got Essence on there. Man, almost every time we go to the spot up there, they have a place called Tacoma Station on the northwest side of town. And I always catch Ja Funk. You know, James Funk. He goes by Ja Funk now, who's the lead singer of Essence. Yeah, man, Backyard Band. If you like Backyard Band, tell me, have you seen that Adele version? He's all on that, man. Emil Joseph said, Marty, you can live on 18,000 for 6 months almost anywhere on earth. You ain't lying. And for 18,000, man, I mean, that's a good place to go, because just think how far you're going to be able to go on 18,000. Yeah, Chiboleon, College Park. Yeah. On this side of College Park, though, we were on the Adelphi side. But I know all of it, man. I never went to that college, but I know that college better in the back of my hand. I used to party over there when I was in high school. Oh, yeah, take me out to see Junkyard. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, man. Yeah, Subtle Thoughts. Subtle Thoughts is at Tacoma Station often, man. I think they may be the ones we caught in Silver Spring. I went out there, 2 years ago for Catherine's birthday, and we caught Go-Go. Man, and she fit right into. She loved it. Unless you've heard Go-Go, you can't, That's why I said there's got to be a way where I can create my own. Like my intro to my videos is Go-Go, if anybody's not familiar with Go-Go music. And yeah, so Big Mike said Montgomery County for 15 years, Tacoma Station was my spot. Believe that, man. What you know about Long Island Iced Tea from Tacoma Station? We was there early this year or late last year. Last time we got to go to Tacoma Station, man. I got video up there too, man. We went in and caught EU, Experience Unlimited. We walked in and I'm like, oh, Sugar Bear's here. And Catherine's like, who's Sugar Bear? And until they started playing Doing the Butt. So if you're familiar with Doing the Butt. Yeah. Subtle Thoughts. When did the Ritz and the Classics Club close? Yep, man. Man, I got some DC people in here, man. What you know about the Ritz? The Ritz was on, if I'm not mistaken, the Ritz. Yeah. My buddy Ajima was asking me about the Ritz. I'm pretty sure that's the one across from the FBI building, right? E Street, 7th and E, downtown. And the Classics, yep, out on the Beltway, man. Classics was a spot, man. All gone now, man. The Ritz is like, shoot. The Ritz, if I'm not mistaken, was like straight up 3 or 4 levels. I can't remember if it was 3 clubs in one or something like that. We're kind of, yep, Tacoma Station is a spot for us. Cool, gosh. What is that? Never heard of that one. Jermaine Robinson, Go-Go DC Music 101. Believe it. 9th and E. Yep. That was it. That was the Ritz. That was Ajima talking about that. I said, yeah. Iced Tea, man. 2 in 1 night. Oh, man, I took somebody up there once. One of my work buddies, and I told him, man, careful now. And that's when they used to come in them full body shaped glasses, And I think he had 3 of them in one night. Had to like drag him out of there. Yeah, man, we was up there. Ibex, man, you know about the Ibex, man? I used to put on talent shows, amateur nights, and things like that. And actually, one of the guys in one of the bands got me into the Ibex. So I bring up the singers and stuff like that to come up there to practice and to perform a little bit. Yeah, Outbacks is on Georgia Avenue, man. I grew up 5 blocks south of that, on Georgia Avenue, right off of Georgia Avenue, Farragut. That's on like Missouri Avenue and Georgia Avenue. But yeah, had my first bike stolen across the street from there, man. Yeah, I remember that. Was Medellin 2 weeks back. Jermaine was there. Yeah, man, you back in the U.S. now? Yeah. How about TM says Tiffany's? I don't remember Tiffany's. But yeah, man, that was a spot. Yeah, back in the day. I'm just lucky to be alive and be out right now. But yeah, I did want to mention that bars. I did hear the bars. Hey, somebody needs to tell me though, somebody who's there or has been there, or somebody who's there now, obviously, because it started on, if I'm not mistaken, on the 1st to the 16th, that bars, wait, was it, somebody can tell me, bars are open, but the discos are closed? I forget. They're just trying to cut down on the confusion. Too many people jamming up together. What else? I went over the dollar, Guatemala, and I went over, and whoever wasn't here earlier, there's always somebody that's got to put something negative out, like fake news. You're telling fake news. And, you know, recently, if you notice on the thumbnails, I put the date on there. I put the date on there for a reason. Just like the news, today's date, November 3rd, 2020, is going to be different on November 4th, 2020. So go back and look at it before, because that's, you know, one thing, I can't stand to be accused of doing something wrong, accused of doing something I ain't done. And fake news, it just, you make me, you know, that term is kind of sketchy nowadays anyway. So anyway, Jermaine say, got a show in Milagrosa. Where's Milagrosa? Is that there? Oh, New York. Okay. Cherokee, didn't I? Which surveys in Medellin in one day. Cheers. Too many Medellin. Yeah, appreciate it, Cherokee. Love to buy. Hey, if I get down that way, man. Cheers. Juno, got good news. I just read it on El Colombiano. It says the government is not going to enforce the judge's decree. Whoa, El Colombia. Did everybody hear that? Big Mike told me earlier that in El Tiempo that they were staying the judge's order until January. Well, the judge says you need to, you know, enforce it within 4 days, which I think that's Monday. But El Colombiano, I'm gonna look this stuff up as soon as I get off of here too. Juno says he just read on El Colombia. It says that the government is not going to enforce the judge's decree. How's that work? I mean, I don't know how it works here, how the government can say they're not going to listen to a judge unless they create a law that overrules what the judge says. I don't quite know how it works down there. But appreciate that, Juno. I got to look that one up. TM, okay. How about Holgate's on the waterfront? Believe I know Holgate's, man. Get this. TM is gone. All that's gone. Now, the wharf itself, you know, where the boats pull up and they sell the crabs and stuff, that's there, but everything else is gone. All condos. Look at my last video when I went home for pizza. I forgot what I entitled it. Escaping for Pizza. About 2 months ago, I drove from Houston to DC to get me a slice of pizza, or to get me a pizza. And until you have Lido's Pizza, you know, don't accuse me, you know. Until you try Lido's Pizza, man, it's all that, I'm telling you. But I just want to get away, really. But yeah, Holgate's is gone, man. They scrapped all that. All that is gone. Condo space, boat rentals, all that stuff. Really high dollar area, and it's overlooking Haynes Point now. So just think of their view, right on the Potomac. Beautiful, man. Jermaine says Envigado got the crazy light show and all the blocks. Really nice. Yeah, Envigado's nice, man. I walk. Yeah, I do have a video too, walking from where I lived at near our Catala metro station. I walked all the way down that way. Envigado's beautiful, man. Anybody ever watched the show 90 Day Fiance, or Before the First 90 Days or something like that? There's a couple now that the girl is in Colombia, and the guy's from the US, and he's dating her, and they 90 Day Fiance is where you bring your fiance here and you have 90 days to get married. That's the type of visa you chose. But anyway, he's waiting on a cab out front of his apartment, and they show the building and the address. So I looked it up. I go, oh, I'll walk right by. I walk right by. They should be careful about that because now we know where he's living. But yeah, okay, so we got TM says was a restaurant with a lobster in the front. Yep. Hogate's was a spot, man. Hogate's was a spot for happy hour too. Monday through Friday, like good happy hours, man. Triple Leon, I have a question. If you had to choose between Guatemala or Colombia, which would you choose? I know they are totally different and maybe a tough question. If you watch my video where I did a comparison, I chose Antigua, and I did city, not Colombia versus Guatemala. If I had to do country versus country, that's still a difficult one. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and rate that. I forgot what I put, but basically it came down to Antigua winning over Medellin, because the dollar is still strong, not as strong as it is in Colombia. People are friendly. They're friendly in Guatemala. I mean, in Medellin and Colombia, but until you get to Lake Atitlán or until you get to Antigua, even having Medellin is a big metropolitan area where you're going to go anywhere. It's like, high dollar, you stay in nice areas. I mean, you're not going up in the favelas. You're not going up on the side of the mountain. You're not going up there, So you don't get to see that part of it. But Guatemala, man, Antigua itself stole my heart, man. I'm telling you, it is the place. And I'm gonna tell you, it's the most romantic place I've ever been. And we had just got back from, what's it called? Venice. Was it Venice? Yeah, Venice. Beautiful. But I'm telling you, Antigua, just walking around, the whole town is cobblestones. You will twist your ankle. But the whole town is cobblestones. The people are friendly. The dollar is strong. Hotels a little more pricey when you're in Antigua, but get out to Lake Atitlán, Panajachel, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Weather was good. I don't know if it's like that year round, but when you have views of volcanoes, man, that does something for me, nature-wise anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna say, I got to give Guatemala the nod. Got to give Guatemala. I love Medellin. Absolutely love Medellin. Can't speak for the rest of the country. Love Medellin itself. Love the people. The few expats that I befriended over in Sweet Georgia, incredible people, which are still friends today. My dentist, you need a good dentist also, let me know. I still have to say Antigua's got to win it, man. We're talking city to city. Guatemala to Colombia, I'd have to sit down and debate that one, But Big Mike says there's a walkabout club. There's a talk about club closures, but I think it's up to the region, local governments. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. I think that was on the Info Bay. They were talking about, I think it may be like the mayors get to decide. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the president saying, okay, that everybody has to or has a choice to enact that, and then the mayors take it upon themselves. I don't know how that's working, but yeah. So club closures and anytime, and when you hit discotecas, that's clubs, because obviously they don't want people up on each other and without the mask. They're doing the best they can down there, and medical care is good there. I do know that. Thanks, Big Mike. Juno says El Colombiano is the main paper in Medellin. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that when I'm done. I use that as a source, man. I got about 10 different publications, and I got alerts popping up from a couple. Victor, Juno, thanks for the info. Yeah, man, thanks for that. Diego, thank you, Juno. Everybody's appreciating that. Every time, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna do this. If I can get it done by tomorrow, I will, because that's big. That's big. That's big, because a lot of you guys are going, and you need to know more than the test. Other than who was that in Boston or New York said $200, man, that's extreme. That's excessive. $200 to take a COVID test. You're not guaranteed on when the result's going to come back. That's crazy. Yeah, but so it's more than anything though. I think the 14-day quarantine is what's killing people. 14 days, man, that's excessive. And on our website, and I did look on the where is it? U.S. Embassy. And it says, is there a curfew in place? And they update this pretty often. It says no. Are U.S. citizens required to quarantine? Says no. COVID testing. Colombia is able to test for, no, where is it? Where's the question? Do you have to have a test? Okay. Are citizens permitted to enter? Yes. Is a negative COVID-19 PCR or serology required for entry? Guidance forthcoming. And they have made a couple of changes since the last couple of days too. But it pretty much says that it's up in the air right now. But I need to check that story out, because if the government can overrule what a judge says, I mean that's pretty big. So anybody who's watching this video after the fact, it is December 3rd, 2020, and according to a couple of articles, the government has said that they're not going to enforce it. I knew the president was going to fight this. Once they decide they're going to open back up, we need to make money. It's not so much about lives. We need to make money, kind of like we do here in Texas and Florida, where they're just going to open up and make the money. And, these countries borrow a lot of money from the World Bank, and they have to pay this money back. Those places say, get out there and make my money. So open up. They got to open up. Yeah. Juno, wow, what was the date of the article? LTMFO article has today's date. Okay, British. Yeah, well, yeah, when was that? Yeah, the date is big. The date is big. Because just like somebody told me, fake news, fake news. You put up fake news. And people always say that. It gets me. If you click on their profile, they ain't got a video, they ain't got a name, they ain't got a picture, nothing. So they create that, and then when you block them from there, they go create another email and come back and say, I agree with that last person. I'm like, dude, I know who you are, and you just block them and go keep on moving. I don't get it, but just remember, the news is going to change every day. Jermaine says Medellin and Barranquilla, both nice. Haven't been to Barranquilla. I've seen video, man. Ace is still there. I think he's in Barranquilla now. Or is he in Cartagena? Like Carlton's up there now. I think he's just up for the week. Diego Armando, is real estate a good investment in Colombia, Bogota, Medellin? That I can't answer. I will tell you, when I first got there, I was asking around because the place is just so beautiful and the weather's so amazing and the dollar's so strong. You figure I might as well invest it. I got a few dollars. I got a pension or Social Security. I might as well put $200 a month to this. But like people told me, who told me that? I think I was talking to Rob at Sweet Georgia. And he said, it's cheaper and makes more sense for you to get an Airbnb for long term or get an apartment and don't rent. Just remember, if you get an apartment, you have to furnish it. You don't know, they're all different, but apartments aren't going to come with everything. Yeah, the price is maybe $350, $400 a month, but now you got to put a refrigerator in there. You got to put a stove, or, not all apartments come with everything already done, but an Airbnb is totally furnished. They'll give you pots and pans, not all the same quality, but some are really nice. So it may make more sense to rent. And then if something changed, the economy changed, or your life changes, and you can just get up and go. You don't have to worry about the value increasing or going down. So maybe somebody else there can answer that question too. Does it make sense to buy a land? By the way, and I've used this as a resource already, Medellin Guru, #1 source for information as far as I'm concerned. #1 source for information in Medellin, Colombia is medellinguru.com. I don't know how this guy does this, but he's got so much information, and I don't think he's doing this as a business. Like I think his story says in his bio. I moved here, I loved it, I wanted to pass on more information, kind of like I'm doing. But his website is outrageously accurate and beneficial. If you're looking, he has a section, I'm almost positive, there's a section that says, should I buy or rent? If you look at it, there's got to be a section. I'm almost positive that he's got something. I feel like I'm at a trade show. I'm talking loud. I would rent. I mean, it just depends on, where do you want to be in a city? Do you want some land and a house, out on the side of the mountain? And the weather's, when you go up the side of the mountain, the weather's different. It came out 2 hours ago. Okay, so Juno says the story came out 2 hours ago. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that one too. Justin says, hola from Poblano. Mis Miletos. Oh, Litos, yeah. You missed Miletos, what you know? El Poblano? Where's El Poblano? And what you know about Litos? Catherine, if you're still on here, you know how I feel about Litos. Let's see, General say, what I want to know is, are there flights to Medellin empty or full? Yeah, can anybody answer that? I'm going to guess they're getting more full towards the end of the year, and I'm hearing a lot of you guys commenting that you're going next month. Well, November was saying next month, so this month. So yeah, can anybody answer that? Are the flights full? Are the flights empty? For me, that would be a deal. I go any time of night if there's nobody on the plane. But being packed in next to somebody I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not ready for that. And that's why, yeah, while we haven't flown, we got lucky and blessed going to Colorado. What I want to know is this CC just 2 days ago was about 3/4 full from Bogota. Yeah, that's totally different. And it depends on, who's coming. He probably came in late at night or early in the morning too from Bogota. I've been at that airport a few times too. Juno says, no, from out of the country. Brian, welcome, Brian. Thanks for all the info. I'm going down for a photo shoot in mid-January. It'll be my first time. Bet. Anybody can answer any questions, man. Let us know. I got a lot of people who watch my videos who have some valuable information, more so than I'll be able to answer. I mean, I'm putting things together and giving it to you as best I can, but throw something out. Watch, somebody will comment something and then ask a question and get the answer right away, whereas I got to go through them to ask it. So good luck, man. Let us know if there's anything we can answer for you. Beautiful place, man. Beautiful place. You're going to love it. Justin says, Poblado. Okay. Yeah, from DC. Yeah, man. Hey, if you know Litos, I go back to when there was but one Litos on University Boulevard, the first one. That's the one I used to go to. And I used to sell software for point of sale systems, touchscreen computers in restaurants. And our niche was pizza. So I've had pizza at a couple hundred different places all across the country. Chicago, I've had it all. Litos is still the best. I was out on a trip one time. My mom called me and said, Litos is on Oprah. Because Gail went to Maryland University. So she was bringing up, they would talk about their favorite foods within their life. Okay, Bonateam says, did you know, did we get new lakes in Guatemala because of hurricane? Oh, I don't know. The only news, I pulled up a story earlier about Guatemala's legislators lit the fire that burned down their house. So fatally estranged from the public, the government has shown it can reform itself. So looks like they passed the president passed a budget, had some good things in it, and then had a lot of pork in it, and the people got PO'd and they burned their house down, burned some buildings. I'm looking at it. This is actually Bloomberg too. Bonner team, okay. Justin, Georgia, Arlington, okay, yeah, right across the bridge. I stay in Arlington sometimes when I come. I like to stay in Crystal City and then look across because that's the view of DC, man. Where you see everything. Okay, Jermaine, El Poblado. Poblado is Poblado. TM, I prefer Laureles over El Poblado. Yeah, so do I. I love Laureles. Well, watch my video of that one, man. It's I go over as much information as I can in one video, and I actually do that video walking up from Sweet Georgia Cafe, from 33. I walk all the way up to the circle. Man, I just love that area. I went in a couple of apartments and they weren't finished, and I didn't video. I'm still mad at myself because you look for the signs on the window that say "Se rente" or "Se vende," and then you just go up and ask them, and hopefully you speak some. I told you, man, you got to learn some Spanish. I mean, somebody give me a shout. Let me know who speaks Spanish And if you don't speak any Spanish at all, let me know, because I'm going to tell you how bad your struggle will be real. Struggle is real. Litos has a square pizza. Yep. Believe it. Watch my videos, man. Watch my video on when I drove home to get my Litos pizza. Yes, best pizza, man. They use provolone cheese, by the way, instead of mozzarella. That's one of the secrets. The sauce is sweet. Oh, yeah, man. And they cut the pepperoni like this with a knife. They don't use that thin shaved, that hair thin pizza toppings. Jermaine says, yeah, they're full. Yep. Well, flights are full. Brian says, I work for Delta and the middle seats are still, are they still open? Okay. What do you do for Delta, by the way, Brian? Yeah, so I heard they were going to do that through December. Have you got any feedback on that? I don't know if is Southwest still doing it? I tell you, my first flight was last week, and that was one way going on United, where they feeding people, they take the mask off, and then Frontier on the way back. Catherine got us blessed, and we had exit rows on the way back, though. And nobody sat next to us. And that's another trick we do. It don't always work on the time, but when two of us are going, we book window and aisle. So, and even on Southwest, we sit window and aisle. I'm the person that's there at 12:01 the following morning, go, check in, check. But yeah, we book window and aisle. If somebody does come and they try to sit in the middle, that's when we go, okay, hey, you want the window or you want the aisle? And they're going to take it, of course. Nobody wants to be in the middle. The good thing about the middle is on Southwest, well, it's pre-COVID, but on Southwest, and on a full flight on Southwest, you get to pick who you sit next to. Now you look for two small ladies, to squeeze in between instead of two big football players. You look for the smallest people, most friendly, normal, non-talking people you can sit on. I don't want nobody talking right now. Okay, cool. What about Spirit? Well, we just flew Spirit. I don't know about to there, but yeah, they were. It wasn't full. No, we didn't fly Spirit. I just said we flew Frontier then. I don't know about Spirit now. Anybody had experience with a Spirit recently? Jermaine says Fort Lauderdale is always a full flight. Yeah, man. The FLL and the MIA, they push a lot of flights, I'm going to assume, to Medellin. I don't know, what is it, Copa? One of the main airlines go from Fort Lauderdale and Miami. The area around Santa Fe Mall is nice too. Yes, that's actually where I stay. Well, I stayed, if you know Santa Fe Mall, that's 43rd. It's also called Poblado Avenue. South of, is it Poblado? South of that, it starts to level off. To the right on the side where the mall is, that's all on the top of the mountain. And I wouldn't stay over there. But if you stay on this side, then it's level, it's flat. But I stayed near Aguacatala Mall, so I could walk to Santa Fe Mall. It may be 15 minutes. I had to come up a little bit of a hill. But if you cross that street, you're going up side of the mountain. And the last night I was there before I left too, I played poker, like an official poker game. I wasn't supposed to be there. I'm sitting there with some real high rollers. It's a real high roller poker game. We got invited to go up. I got invited by a guy at Sweet Georgia. I head up to the top and I'm like, when I found out, it said like 33rd floor or 41st floor, whatever. And I hit the button. I walked in the elevator. I was like, whoa, this is the top floor. Went all the way to the top penthouse apartment, poker room. Watch that video. That's my last day in Medellin. Oh man, the view from that side of Poblado, beautiful, beautiful. Again, I wouldn't stay there because I don't want to have to take a taxi everywhere. I like to walk. And we stayed in a hotel behind the mall once. Still, you got to walk up the hill to get to it, even if it's just one block, man. And realize that even when you're flat there, it's different from being flat here because they're already in the mountains. Like we just left Denver and Vail. Now it's top of the mountain, just regular flat level, 8,000 feet right there. So you're going to struggle to breathe right there. So just remember, air is thin. don't you start climbing mountains, which I made a mistake. Watch those videos. I climbed 3 mountains in 3 days and was not prepared for that, man. Was not prepared for it. Fort Lauderdale, College Park, better know, man. Literally, there are new lakes. Oh, it rained that much? Man. Yeah, it rained in Colombia too. I guess that same one went through Mexico too. Juno says the area around Santa Fe Mall is nice too. Yep. Ground operation. Oh, your ground operations. Okay, for Delta. Excellent. Yeah, man. If you can pass on any flyer news, help us out. Help us out. You guys know about stuff first before we do. I don't think, does Delta fly to Medellin? I don't think so. I don't even know if they go to Colombia. Justin says, you messaged me the other day about if I would do a Zoom meeting or something since I just moved here. If you're still interested, hit me up. Will do. I'm gonna come back and look at this one. Yeah, I was just saying earlier that I want to get a bunch of you guys on a Zoom, people who are there, to get your feedback from the people who are there. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I'm DC born Rob, and I don't know how I came up with that years ago, but I'm Rob. I was born in DC, so that's how I came up with DC born Rob. That's my email at Gmail. So hit me up if you can do it. I'll be interested. I'll send you guys, we'll do something within the next week or so. And let me know what you guys think about where you are, first time there, been there before. A lot of people are coming and need that info. Like before I went, I watched so much Carlton, and shoot, what was this? Another guy used to hook his camera on his waist. I can't think his name right now, and of course I started watching Ace first. But that's how I was looking for information to find how is it. And Carlton had the most practical. He just wasn't out showing girls out of Yiddish, you know what I mean? He was giving practical. His insurance. He had to talk with a cop. I mean, he put out some valuable information, man. And I'm sure you all know Carlton's travel adventures, by the way. Yeah, but if anybody's interested, let me know. Again, I'm dcbornrob at gmail.com. Can you get away with a living on pension at $2,300? I could, and live in a nice apartment. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. You know how much you say this your pension? My what do you call it? Social Security is going to be $1,200. I can live on $1,200 there. Believe that. So twice as much. Yeah, man. Like I said, you can get really, and Big Mike, if you're still on, you know, you can chime in because I think he knows that area. For $500, you can get a decent apartment. A little bit more than that, again, you got to furnish it. But again, you can do an Airbnb or work out a deal with somebody. If you find somebody and talk to them and negotiate, you know, be able to speak a little bit of Spanish or take somebody that does with you because you get gringo prices. Everybody knows what gringo prices. You get gringoed. Well, as soon as they see you coming and even if you speak Spanish, they'll know your accent. No, you're not from there, and you're going to get gringo prices where they're going to charge you more. Yes, you can. At TM, that's absolutely you can for $2,300. Shoot. Yes, you can. $2,300, man. You're not good. I'll be living on 23. And the best thing I'm gonna tell you, another best things I like about Medellin or Guatemala, I didn't have to drive. I could take an Uber wherever I wanted to go, if I had to, a taxi, but I did not have to drive because driving is crazy. It's straight nuts. It's straight nuts. In both places, really, but specifically Medellin is nuts. I have video of that too, driving around. Go back and look at some of my old videos when I was there. Again, the quality's not there. There's a couple I can't even look at because I'm starting to get dizzy. That was before I started getting a better camera and, you know, microphone and all that. Kev Mo says, yes, believe it you can. Jermaine says, Spirit. Jermaine Robinson, full. Believe that. Those economy carriers are going to try to pack as many people on there as they can. Same thing with United. Juno says, oh, yeah. How are the casinos in Medellin? Can you recommend one? Can anybody recommend one? I walked in and out of a couple, but I'm not a gambler. So, you know, and they weren't like Vegas. They were, you know, I don't know, size of a CVS, at least the ones I went in. So I don't gamble much except that, you know, like We played poker at Sweet Georgia Cafe. But yeah. If you haven't been to Sweet Georgia Cafe, by the way, you need to go. He's got two places now. One's in Laureles, one is in Poblado. The one in Poblado is like a couple of blocks away. It looks like a couple of blocks away from Poblado, Parque Poblado, which is not Parquilleres. It's a few blocks down on 43rd. 43rd and 10th is where that park is. So a couple blocks over. When you want to get some home cooked food too, I need to have him give me a referral fee or something, man, because the food is the bomb. I don't know how he teaches people how to make sausage, bacon, potatoes, and season it right and where it tastes good. I don't know how he did it, man. And he always has a function going on, like they just had Thanksgiving stuff. 4th of July we were down there jamming, live music, movie night, poker night, game night. He always got something going on. So make sure you check out Sweet Georgia Cafe if you do go. And even another benefit of that is the resources that you'll find there too, because all the expats are coming together. Now, I went there because I didn't want to be around Americans. Or one of the reasons, and one of the benefits, I wasn't around a lot of Americans. So I wanted to immerse myself in the culture. But that was my spot. So it was my hangout spot. I can go hang out, meet some people over there and then go out and party or something. I went out with Carlton one night. I had to apologize to him next day because I forgot what happened that night, man. A couple of drinks, this one club, I remember we went in, and after that, that was a wrap. But, okay, Spirit 44, Casino, Chibaleon says Santa Fe Mall is off of Carrera 43rd. Yes, that's Poblado Avenue, 43rd. That's the same street that they close half of it every Sunday. And if it's a holiday, on Monday too. And the people just walk. I mean, like I walk from there, when I walk up from my apartment, I end up right by Santa Fe Mall, by that little bridge. And I walked all the way downtown. And I use Map My Walk. I did 5K down and 5K back. All the way downtown and then back up on that road. And it goes all the way down to Envigado too. I don't know how far it goes down. But I know it goes through Envigado or ends there or something too. But that's 43rd. Yeah. That's a nice mall too, by the way, man. If you've been up there and been to the food court, the view from the food court, man, just being able to eat outside. That's one thing. I can't eat outside here in Houston, especially in the summer. The bugs they drive you crazy. And plus it's too hot and you can't take off skin. So not like when it's cold, you can put on a coat, but to be able to sit out there and have the weather just like, oh my God, feel this. This is outstanding. Brian says, will do. Justin says, sounds good. Brian Archie, no, we're in Bogota and out of Atlanta. We'll figure out how we get to Medellin from there. Yeah. I don't know. Any flights out of Atlanta? That's Delta territory right there too. Juno. You'll live like a king for $2,300. Yeah, especially in Laureles. Well, not especially because Laureles is not the cheapest. It's like a Strata 4 or 5. And if you're familiar with the Strata system, it's I think it's 1 through 6. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's 1 through 6. 6 is the highest. Like Poblado will be a 6, and then parts of Laureles. Well, because it's Laureles Estadio, and there's a lot of neighborhoods in between there, so it's either a 4 or 5. So for a Strata 4 or 5 is good, and the prices will reflect that too, and so will your bills, like your gas and water and things like that. You live the lower the Strata, the less you pay. How they work it there is a fair system where you make more money and you pay more in rent. Then you help out the people that don't make as much, so their bills are lower while yours are higher. So yeah, Laureles is a 4 or 5. So it's not the lowest. Belen's a little bit low. Maybe I think Belen's a 3 or 4. And all that information again is on Medellin Guru. All the Strata system, everything you want to know about Medellin is on Medellin Guru. I need to get some kickback from him too. Genoa, yeah, you look like a king. Jermaine says there are 2 casinos in Envigado. I've only been in Envigado during the day. Like I said, I walk down and walk back. My last day too. Big Mike says Carlton will send you his household items. Yeah, I saw this video last night. He's like, do I take my stuff with me? you know, because he got an apartment, so he had to furnish it and put all the stuff in it. And now he wants to move and doesn't want to move all this stuff. That's what I said. Whatever I get in here, and if you saw my video on my last apartment, I couldn't wait to get out of there. But and I hate to move, man. Hating it. Worst thing to do in life for me is really close. The one divorce I ever had, and you want to know stressful, and then moving. I guess a divorce is worse because I moved a few times, and that's just added up. Moving is just, you know, you just want to walk out and leave everything. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to sell it or what, but or maybe you can take his apartment if you're going soon. I think he's in the Loud Ellis area. I don't know exactly where he is. Lost in Nomad Colombia talk. Been into a few casinos, most of small ones. Yeah, near Santa Fe Mall, nice, but nothing like Vegas. Exactly. I've been to that one across from the bridge from Santa Fe Mall. And what's the place with the apple across the street? Next to the McDonald's, whatever the name of the place is. One out front of that too. Yeah, do you know what? Okay, thanks. That's what I thought. You know, I've seen Las Vegas type casinos only in the country of Chile. Never been to Chile. Brian Archie said, "What's a top-notch steakhouse there? Anybody have any ideas?" There was a place I was hunting down, which we could not find. We ended up at Bastardos, and I think, what do we have? Pork chop and something else. But I would assume their steak is good. Bastardos. It's in Poblado. Yeah, there's a thin line up there between Poblado and shoot, what's it called? Just north of Poblado. You can't tell when you're walking around there, but it's called something different. Now I can't think of it. But there was a place up there where I had meat that was just phenomenal. Juno says Beefsteak Charlie. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a Beefsteak Charlie there? But anyway, anybody got anything else before I jump off of here? I want to jump on here and test the live thing because I've never done live before, just to see how it work out. Now I need to go check out the stories that Big Mike and Juno gave me on El Tiempo and El Colombiana. Colombiano. So look at those two resources if you haven't already. El Tiempo and El Colombiano. What's the other one I use too? Medellin Herald is one I use. They send me alerts too, so I get the stories that pop up. But the last time I was ahead of him because he's got to go through typing all this stuff up. But yeah, I need to see, as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to go check that out too. Anybody, anything else before I jump off here? Ajima, what's up, brother? What you know, man? Hey, man, if you scroll up, you'll hear somebody asked about the Ritz, and I brought up your name. The Ritz in D.C. You got a few people here from D.C. You know about Lito's Pizza too, and Go-Go. TM says, "Wow, I was thinking more like $1,000 a month for an apartment." I realized, no, man, you can get a decent place for less than $500, unless the prices are changing around and demand is growing. But since not as many people are going there and visiting and moving now as they were last year, I can't see how the prices could possibly go up. But again, when you rent an apartment, though, you got to put a lot of stuff in it. And then you have to pay extras, like you got to pay your own cable. You got to pay your own internet. Whereas if you get an Airbnb, internet's free. Water's free. Electricity's free. Most places, by the way, don't have an oven. And most places, by the way, don't have a dryer. Because they consume energy. And that's why you see clothes hanging everywhere, because, you know, the weather's perfect. You know, I'd wash clothes, you know, you lift up the little glass top and it spin around and you go, is this really cleaning? Is this really cleaning my stuff? And then you just pull it up. You know, the centrifugal force snatches as much water off of it to the side, hang it up. They'll give you a little thing to hang it. I actually went out and bought my own because I had socks and stuff. Otherwise, I had socks and stuff hanging off of like my desk and all over, underwear hanging off the couch. But it'll dry in a matter of like 3 or 4 hours because it's not humid. So it's not here in Houston, we have humidity and it's rough. There, you can dry in 3 or 4 hours. So you don't get a lot of dryers, you don't get a lot of ovens. Some places do. Most time you won't have an air conditioning. And then I've heard of houses in California, like in Los Angeles, without air conditioning, but you don't need it. Now I see. Now I see. Did a good job with the live thing, brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys for jumping on, man. Oviedo, that's it. Oviedo is the name of the place with the big apple right across from Santa Fe Mall. Yeah, that's a nice little mall too. It's a mall. It's smaller, but it's nice. Man, all the grass and everything is all well manicured and stuff. But Santa Fe Mall is a good one. They actually got a drop top in this mall. I mean, the mall top opens up like our, football stadium. Oviedo. Bro, love your hometown. Yeah, man. Jimmy used to go there back in the day too. Yeah, Truebell, I remember the Ritz. Kilimanjaro, the Roxy. Get this, man. I tended bar at Kilimanjaro for a little while. There were 2 sides. And one side had African music, the other side had reggae. I love reggae. I actually created my own first reggae jam. And it's good. I'm going to play it in my next video. Because I'm starting to make my own music now instead of having to deal with YouTube and all that, man. Worst thing you want to do is, you walk by a place, next thing you know, you upload the video, you go through all the editing, and you find out you got a copyright strike because you walked in front of a bar and they were playing something for like 10 seconds. It used to drive me crazy. So now I make my own music. But yeah, Kilimanjaro, I used to tend bar there, and all they drank was frozen stuff anyway. But I was on the African side. Not the same as the reggae side. Not the same, but if you know that area, man, Adams Morgan, we were there. I have a video of that too. Last time we went together, Catherine and I went all up around 14th Street, Ben's Chili Bowl, all that stuff, man. Yeah, man. Kilimanjaro, that brought back something, man. Well, that price was for a fully furnished spot. How much? 1,000? I mean, I had an Airbnb in Laureles for, no, I don't remember what it was, but knowing me, I wouldn't have paid more than $500 a month. Well, no, for fully furnished. For just a month, I don't know. I probably paid about $600, something like that, fully furnished. But if you watch that video, I had an issue too. There was a roach running around at night. Yeah, watch that video if you want to know how to get out of Airbnb, if you want to know how to call Airbnb, how to deal with Airbnb. I did a couple of videos there. Just type in DC Born Rob Airbnb. I have like 3 or 4 videos, but there's a 2-part one where something happens. I said Airbnb did me wrong, and Airbnb did me right. Then they did me wrong again, and then they did me right. They hooked me up. They paid the difference. They got me out of this spot that same day. I had to stay in a hotel one night, but that's cool. Everything happens for a reason. That's how I found 1968 burgers and fries. The price for Jamie says, love the nightclubs in DC. Yeah, man, they were nice back then. I don't know what they are now. We got somebody used to go to Big Mike said he used to go to Tacoma Station, man. Do you know Tacoma Station? It's 4th and Butternut near Tacoma Metro Station. Jermaine, please do FAM. I'm heading back next month. Please do FAM. Oh, please do. I'm heading back next. Okay, I got you. I used to live in Adams Morgan. You used to live in Adams Morgan? Yeah, man. We were there. We went and listened to reggae there last year. Watch that video. I got when we came out. I don't know what they did. It's like they mixed acid in the water. Everybody watch that video. People were stepping out the clubs. I looked at it last week. Every once in a while, I look at my old videos because I'm cooped up in here by myself. And people were I was like, whoa, man, they must tilt to the street because everybody were coming out the clubs. Every club. It wasn't just one place. They were all coming out drunk. All on like 18th Street. You know, the one-way street? Well, not one-way street, but the street where you park on an angle. I can imagine what that looks like now. I used to live in Adams Morgan. Yeah, oh man, reggae is my thing. I play reggae. How you play reggae? What kind of reggae you play? Look me up, man. DC Born Rob at Gmail, man. I'm gonna send you my jam. I created my own reggae, my first reggae, man. I was like, man, there's gotta be a way I can do this Same thing with my intro I was talking about earlier. I created that intro, my own go-go. I bought a bunch of loops and put them together in the order that I wanted. So it's my music. Used to be the spot for, you ain't lying, man. I used to manage bars and nightclubs, man. I used to hire them from Englishman to pick the reggae spots, man. I used to know all the guys too. That club was dope. Which one? You talking about Tacoma? Tacoma Station was, they're still open now. My godbrother told me that they're still open. What they did was that whole street in front of Tacoma Station, they no longer allow parking on that street. And now they put the tables out on the sidewalk and in the street. They doing what they got to do to stay open. Tacoma Station was small. I don't know how far y'all go back with Tacoma Station, but it was half that size. And then they bought the place next door and knocked the wall down. And I was going to when it was small. Bukum Cafe. Yeah, man. That's still there, if I'm not mistaken. That, man, I think that's where we saw reggae. I need to go look that up. Or look up the video of me in DC, and you'll see if it's at Bukum Cafe. Because that sounds familiar. We went there and listened to it. It was like African first. It was an African spot, but they played reggae. Got to hear some roots, man. Got to hear some roots. Love roots reggae, man. Not calypso, not reggaeton. Victor says, Rob, you still getting lit. Ha ha. Gotta enjoy life to the fullest, man. Believe it. Believe that, man. Life is good. It's what you make it. Big Mike says $1,000 is very high end, penthouse type living. I had a friend there who passed away in Medellin, a friend from Sweet Georgia Cafe, King James. We called him. Good guy. He had a place off of a couple of blocks away from the street. You saw me walking up in the video. And my last day there, it was Taco Tuesday at his apartment. I went over. I loved his apartment. It was a 2-bedroom. And I told him I wanted. I looked at some text that we had a few days ago because he wanted to rent it out. The patio, the thing with he was on there were only 2 apartments per floor, or 1 apartment per floor. Can you believe that? 1 apartment per floor, and it had an elevator. He was on a 3rd or 4th or something like that. And the doors open up, the whole glass wall open up. So it's like your living room is outside. Amazing. Amazing. And to this day, that was my favorite apartment. And that was in Laureles. And I think he told me he was paying 7 something. Yeah, so Big Mike is right. $1,000. If he's paying 7 something, and it hadn't got worse in a new building, and he had parking. He didn't have a car. There's no need to have a car there. I always wanted to ride a motorcycle there though, but maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, not through that city. Yeah. He's right. Jimmy said yes. Big Mike, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, he said, Big Mike, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. You can probably do it, man. Check out Airbnb. Like I said, go in the future, though. Go at least 6 months out, and then you'll be able to see what the selection looks like, whether it's available or not. But who knows? I don't know when you're going. Big Mike says, hey, DC, do you remember the Foxy Playground? Mayor Barry used to use it as a soup kitchen by day. I don't. Mayor Barry's my mayor. I got a picture on the front page of the Post with me standing next to him the day he got arraigned. I stood in line to go to his arraignment after he got busted. That was my mayor, though, man. He did a lot for me, did a lot for our city. My first summer youth job came from Manbury. So when people talk bad about him, yeah, and he smoked crack and all that, I mean, everybody had problems. But that man did a lot for this city. People don't know he was an instructor. He was the first head of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, before Stokely Carmichael. A lot of people don't know his history. But I don't remember Foxy Playground. Is that his strip club? Because it was a strip club that he used to go to down on K Street. Yeah. Which I have been to. Not that I go to strip clubs or anything, but back then, yeah, we used to go. It was more so just because he knew. True, I play roots, rhythm, guitar, bass, and I sing. Man, send me some of your tracks. So let me know how I can hear some of it, man. I love some good roots, man. My band now is Revolution, Tribal Seeds, man. It's a trip. Tribal Seeds, almost all Hispanic band, and you never know it though. I heard them talking. They did a live a couple of weeks ago. They bad roots too. We see them every time they come here at the warehouse. And you see the guy, the lead singer, talking. And he's talking, yeah, I really think, yeah, we did good, and we're gonna do it. And then you listen to him live, and he's like, yeah, man, I. I'm like, he put on his shades and he transforms, man. And he is Jamaican as far as he knows. Man, I like to hear some of that. I tell you, yeah, Bucum is about the only spot left that plays live reggae. Well, then that may have been it. It was a small place. When you walk in, the band was right to the right, almost like in the window. You go down a little bit, there's a bar, and then you go in the back, and it's deeper and deeper. And it was an African place. Of course, Catherine ate there. She eats almost anything. I'm a little more pickier. Whatever you call me, American. I'm a little picky about that, but yeah, man, I like to hear some of your music, man. Ajima, what about the small club owned by the tall ass African basketball player? Where? Matumbo? We talking about here or there? Victor says, for the guy asking for the steak restaurants, go to La Pampa, Argentina restaurant. You're going to get a good steak in an Argentina restaurant. If you haven't seen my video of in Guatemala of a good steak restaurant, good meat restaurant, and it was an Argentinian place too, our last day there. Go back and watch my video for that, man. Oh my God. We had sausage, steak with chimichurri sauce to go. They gave us salad, they gave us beans. And of course, and then we got busted on the way back on the US side. And had to get all searched down and stuff. Okay, Tim says going. Tim says going in mid-January for a month. Yeah. Get down if you can, man. Shibu Leon says African basketball player, Jima's World. If you're talking about Manu Bowl. Oh, okay. I forgot all about Manu Bowl. Yeah, man. He make Mutombo look fat. That was one of the skinniest basketball players, man. How he lasted, a game. Yeah, Mutombo. Walter Phillips. What's up, Rob? I lived in Capitol Heights, Maryland for 30 years, but now I live in Cypress, Texas, retired. Any word on the rescheduling of Carnival in Barranquilla? I haven't heard anything about it. Anybody there know anything about Carnival in Barranquilla? I don't know. Where's Ace right now? Is he in Barranquilla, or maybe he was sticking around for that or something? I don't know. Yeah, man, Capitol Heights, I know. I know Capitol Heights too, because I lived off of East Capitol for a little while too. Train station was like, Capitol Heights was the next train station up too. I had my Chinese restaurant on the corner, man. The Chinese restaurants all over DC too, with the plexiglass up. And 4 wings, hot sauce with mambo. Believe that. Some rice and gravy, man. Here in Houston, we have Timmy Chan, same thing. It was one of 3 strip clubs on Georgia Avenue. Oh, so wait a minute. On Georgia Avenue? Well, I know 2 of them. One was around about 6 blocks south of where I was, and one was 4 blocks north. Actually, Jay Leno used to do sets up there, middle and between the strippers. I mean, I wasn't going back then. I was too young, but the one a little bit further down off of one of the avenues. If it's heading towards downtown on the right-hand side, yeah. That's Foxy's? Wonder if it's still there. Foxy's, now I gotta look. See if it's still there. Foxy's Playground is still there. It's still there. Where is it? Just so I know. That says Maryland, though. That can't be it. Well, there's some in DC too, but I ain't gonna look now. Yeah, Justin says, send email, signing off. Have a good night. Okay, bet. I'm out of here shortly too, guys. Ask any last minute questions that you want. I haven't even done it yet. I figured I'd give this a shot for the first time. J Love, I'm Afro-Colombian, but I was raised in the States. Many Afro-Colombians live in poverty. Many of the black people living in Poblado are American. Yeah, but at least the ones visiting are American, that's for sure. Yeah, man, I'd be interested in hearing from you, man. Let me know if you can jump on a Zoom that I do with other people, because I'm interested in knowing, you know, our history there too. I've heard about that. I've heard that there's racism between light and dark, and this almost everywhere in the world. Less in a lot of different places, you know, certain places you just don't feel comfortable. But I'm gonna tell you, another positive for a black man going to Medellin, Colombia is I didn't feel that at all. The one time I did, and if Ed watches this when I play this back, he knows it was at Sweet Georgia Cafe when, and you know, a lot of military too, but this guy came down with a service dog. And we had a problem with a service dog jumping around while I was eating, and you know, but that's the only time I had that issue there, and it was from another American. So that's why I never got around Americans, because I did not want that. And that's another thing. It's like going to Canada, like the Cherokees in Canada. When you go to Canada, the same racism you feel here in the U.S. is not there. It's not there, and it's amazing to just cross the border and not have to deal with it. You know, it's almost like going to Mexico and not having to deal with it. It's crazy. But I'd be interested in hearing about that story, though, Jay. TM Capitol Heights is a pretty rough area, isn't it? It was. I mean, it was certain areas, yeah, man. I mean, you know, especially in the summer. When it get cold, everybody stay in. But when it's hot and everybody hanging out in the corner, yeah, man. All that area was rough. All of them down East Capitol, shoot, where we used to live. I'll tell you how, if you remember, if you know Capitol Heights and you know Shrimp Boat at the bottom of the hill, Benning Road. And I was walking up the hill from the subway, which is next to Shrimp Boat, walking up the hill, and a car in a high-speed chase cut in front of me. Bam, ran into the bus stop, you know, the glass little bus stop where people wait for the bus. Hit the bus stop, hopped out the car, ran in front of me, like 10 feet in front of me. Police running behind him, guns drawn. You know, they're not supposed to shoot at people in the back, but they running behind him, guns drawn. So I hit the floor. And by the time I got home, I don't know what time it was. An hour later, the news cut on. The guy barricaded himself in the house and they killed him. Same guy I saw run in front of me. So that's not indicative of the neighborhood, but it happened in that neighborhood where he ran in somebody's house, barricaded him. They came in after him and they killed him. That was, man, DC. I'm so glad to get out of there, man. I'm so glad to get out of there. Okay, EJ, have a good one, man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining my first live. Thanks to everybody for joining my first live, by the way. I'm going to do this more often, and I know I won't be here by myself. Big Mike says the mayor of Barranquilla canceled Carnival a week or two ago. Okay, there you go. Carnival is gone, man. It's a lot of stuff. I think that the Florida's festival, whatever, canceled. Either that or the Christmas, they're doing some type drive-through or something like that. I read yesterday. Okay, Kat says first live video. Thanks. Bye. Appreciate you joining me. So appreciate that, Mike. Man, you need to be my news guy. Like Bonnie Team in Guatemala, you got like all the answers, all the stuff I'm struggling to find. Man, I spent a lot of time trying to find some of this information and it's got to not from Jimmy's newspaper. It's got to be somebody reputable. J Love, many Black Americans don't see it because they don't speak the language, and that's true. And the country wants your money. That's true. That's true. If you don't speak it, yeah, we wouldn't even know. We wouldn't even know. That's true. Tim says, appreciate you, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm going to sign off in about another minute, unless anybody else has something to join in with. I'm going to sign off, get me some dinner, and drink some tea. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Appreciate Bonded Team, Keith, Big Mike, Jay, everybody for jumping on, man. This is my first live. You heard it here. Thanks, man. I do the best I can, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I take pride in it too, and I spend a lot of hours on editing, which nobody gets to see. this is cool because I can sit here and don't have to worry about upload and download and editing and music and cut, if I say the wrong thing, I just say the wrong thing. But I'm doing the best I can. Hopefully you guys see something of benefit. Hit subscribe. I'm going to jump right on this story. For those who didn't see it already, if you're watching this after the fact, it is December 3rd, 2020. And if you watch the El Tiempo newspaper and El Colombiano, they are saying that they are not going to enforce the judge's decision. So I'm going to go check this out now. Thanks to everybody. You guys have a good night. Signing out. Be safe. Be safe.